want to make sure this is working. Is it working? Connecting?
I don't know.
Connecting. I'm live. 5 seconds. Okay, it's working. It's working. It's my first time. It's my first time. Okay.
Yes.
Be patient.
Yes.
Be patient, everybody.
I don't know.
Be patient.
How do I tell? Are we here?
Yeah.
Hello, Internet.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of What the Wednesday podcast with myself, Chris, the mic guy, Dad Next Door, Qualizar, whatever you guys are going to call me, and my co-host here, Dusty, the Game Hopper himself. This is my first attempt to be streaming this on YouTube this week. Giving this an opportunity for us here, just try to see if this changes up. You know, we want to have this content to you as soon as possible. And I found myself having issues taking it from the Twitch to the YouTube and doing the editing and all kinds of stuff. So I said, screw it, we're just going to do it live right on YouTube. And that way it's already there for everybody who wants to watch it. So thank you for everybody that joins in there. Links to Hopper's Twitch page, who is, again, my co-host here, will be in the description of the video. Twitters, all that kind of stuff will be down there. So be sure to check those out. And yeah, how you doing? How you doing this week, Hopper?
Oh, I mean, you know, it's October. Doesn't feel like it. Still beautiful down here in Florida. Absolutely gorgeous weather, which I'm never going to complain about. So don't think that that's what that is. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like the normal spooky month that it is because of COVID. But
dude,
I'm enjoying myself. Playing a lot of scary games.
The whole COVID thing has totally changed. Like I did Halloween decorations this year, and I'm not a huge Halloween decoration guy myself. Like I'm not usually, but we decided, yeah, okay, we're gonna do a couple of Halloween decorations, right? And we're gonna try and make this work. And so I've got like one skeleton in the yard, like kind of halfway buried looking skeleton thing, right? And I've got like my coach lights on my garage have like little pumpkins over them, so I have like the flickery candles that light up the pumpkins, right, kind of thing. And I was like, okay, this is cool, this is a neat idea, right? But that's all I have. And I'm like, we're not even trick-or-treating this year, like we're not even doing it. So what is the purpose? But I mean, it's kind of different, you know. We'll see how it goes, you know, see how it all works and everything. So, you know, I don't know,
I feel like a lot of people are probably going to be along the same path, so of like not trick-or-treating. I'd be curious to know, you know, like in years past, what it's going to be like comparably. But
so I have a my community has a Facebook page for the community, and there's a lot of people out there that are like, just let the kids do it, just let them have fun. You know, they'll have masks. You know, everybody's going to be wearing Halloween masks anyways, right? So this is the perfect year to go as a surgeon for Halloween or something like that, right?
Right, yeah. Yeah, anything with a mask is ideal.
So yeah, and this past weekend I was at a Cub Scout event for my son, right? And that was the same thing. You know, they were like, okay, you don't have to wear face masks if your costume has a full covered mask, right? So they did a Halloween like thing, or they did like a haunted trail, and the kids got dressed up. So, you know, most of the kids were like, yeah, we're doing full face masks this year, so that way we don't have to worry about it. And it worked out. You know, it was cool.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good to know. Like, the last thing we want to do is disrupt their lives, you know, as much as ours have been thrown for a goddamn loop at this point. But
I've seen some cool and creative things that people have been coming up with for
that's kind of nice.
For like distributing candy too. Like I saw this one guy had like a piece it was like a 6-foot long piece of 3-inch PVC that he had on his porch, so he would just like drop the candy down in it and it would go down the chute into their bags or whatever. And I was like, I mean,
that's clever. I like that. Yeah,
it's a creative way because, again, it's a holiday that people enjoy, right? It's a fun holiday that, you know, we might miss out on, right? It's not even like it's one of those where like it's a social holiday or something like that. Like it's just a fun one, right? I mean people have parties and stuff, but it's not like
get out there and just kind of enjoy, you know?
Yeah. So I think if we let it get too far, then it will, if we let it get too far, then it's going to become one of those where like that was really like detrimental to mentality, right kind of thing, like that, like, man, we missed Halloween this year, that's how bad this is.
And I think, again, it's the little things like that, even, you know, obviously it's not going to be exactly like it's been in the past, still being able to participate in such events, you know, just gives us hope that, you know, we're on some road back to, you know,
normalcy or whatever.
Normal. I know people hate using that word, but like,
no, I mean,
that's the goal. Obviously,
that
we
is.
Want to get back to the way life was.
Exactly. So
these little things help.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. Unfortunately, we're not even participating in trick or treating this year. Not because not
giving out or anything.
Not because I don't. I'm going to be on vacation, so it works out for me.
Well, there you go. Works out for
my wedding anniversary is November 1st. So like if Halloween ever falls on a weekend, it's like, okay, we're going on vacation, or you know what I mean? It's kind of weird. Yeah. It's kind of weird vacationing during Halloween, but you know, it happens.
I do think, like, while we're on the topic of Halloween anyways, I feel like that's a holiday that needs to be like changed as far as not just the end of the month. Because it's so geared around kids, you know, I think it makes so much more sense if it's, you know, like a Friday night or something like that, where there's not school the next day for kids. You know, parents don't have to worry about getting up for work early the next day, whatever it may be. It would just make a lot more sense and to make it easier on these families if, you know, Halloween was a Friday night.
I totally understand. I totally understand what you're saying. Like one of those concepts where, you know, like Thanksgiving, right? It's the third Thursday or whatever it is, right? Or however that works.
Halloween could be the last Friday of October.
Right. You know? Something like that where it kind of floats or either the Friday or the Saturday or whatever it is, right? Yeah, so that we have an opportunity to actually enjoy it. It always sucked as a kid. And even now as a parent, when it's like you have to tell your kids, oh, Halloween's on Wednesday this year, so we get to trick or treat for 25 minutes because it doesn't get dark. It doesn't get dark until like 7. So it's like if they got to go to bed at 8, it's like, okay, go get dressed and we're going to walk around for 10 minutes and be drenched in sweat. In our costumes.
Or the poor kids, you know, that their parents are walking them out at like 4:30 in the afternoon because they're just getting home from work and the kids and they got to make dinner. And then, you know, it's just becomes part of it where I know growing up, we had kids that would knock on our door like 3 o'clock sometimes, like fresh out of school in their costume, trick or treat already. I'd be like, what?
I mean, like the school uniform.
The school uniform. Poor kid,
The school uniform. I'm a preppy kid. That's what I am for Halloween this year.
Yeah, it's like, so I think, I don't know. I don't think anybody would have a problem. Nobody's like set on the celebration of Halloween being on October 31st every year.
Yeah,
that's just my personal opinion.
I would agree. I mean, if it came up to a vote, I would vote. I would vote for changing it. There you go. Yeah. I'm there. I'm there with you. I'm there with you. I agree. So that'll.
College didn't stop the parties, but you know, it is what it is. Maybe more kids will show up for class the next day after Halloween.
There you go.
On Friday.
That's true. That's true.
All right, what do we got on the docket this evening?
So first thing I want to add in, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want to add in a new segment to this, and it'll be kind of in the beginning here, and it will be our question of the week, right? And I think this is a really good thing for us to do and have an opportunity to represent those in the community that are curious or asking legitimate things that they want to know or trying to get done. And we have an opportunity to kind of rehearse the answer before, you know, we kind of go into this. So, this
practice.
Yeah. Maybe for once.
Don't know how I handle things.
So
seat of my pants, Q. Seat of my pants.
Well, I noticed because I sent you the question earlier and I bet you don't even remember what it was, do you?
No, I don't. Some of it, maybe, I think. Twitch VODs? Something about Twitch VODs?
Yes. We did talk about it in the past a little bit, but I had some, like, I read the question again today and I was like, wow, I never even really, like, I said it was stupid originally, and then now I'm like, wait, you know, there's some ideas there. So
let's do it.
So the question comes from the Nathan V, and it leads to, why does Twitch offer VODs and spend so much money making them available and restreaming them? The metrics and info in VODs don't really make sense because they're not making any revenue on them. You can't resubscribe to a channel, or you could, but how many people really subscribe to old content, right?
Yeah, right.
And they do it for everybody, right? When you know,
that's true.
The majority
of
people,
affiliate or not,
the majority of people get less than 50 views on a VOD. So what do you think Twitch has to gain or really earn from having VODs available for 60 days right now is what they have them up for?
Yeah, it's 60 or 90. It's a really good question, you know, because we did briefly kind of try to dive into it before, and I think neither of us really gave it too much thought. We were just kind of like, I don't know, it's weird. Like, why would they? Because, there's no ads, correct? Right? We went over that, and there's no ads on the VODs themselves.
No advertising on VODs.
So there's no revenue being made by Twitch. It's obviously a massive amount of server space Because I know even like when I download, when you download a VOD, if you're going to do some YouTube cuts or something, I'm working on them. All right, guys, relax. I download a 5-hour VOD. It's like, 8 gigs. So it's not like it's really super compressed as far as video files go. Dang, man.
So
obviously it's great for the high-end streamers. It's for them to be able to make content. But I think a lot of those people that are at that level anyways are usually recording it on their own, either via a secondary machine or whatever it may be, and cutting it up that way. But
so here would be my thing. Here would be my thing, and I would be kind of curious about does the 1%, does the views that the 1% gets outweigh the cost? Does the views that the 1% gets outweigh the cost of the VODs for the remaining 99? That's the way I'm trying to say.
I mean, I feel like if I had to make the assumption, because obviously partners themselves make up less than the 1%, as far as streamers go on the platform.
Right.
And I would say a betting man, I'll calculate, that 1%, I think, gets much more traffic, viewership, eyes on, whatever it may be, than the other 99% as a whole, if you compare them, apples to apples.
Okay.
So it probably does. It probably does outweigh, and then it's a benefit for them if they do need to cut stuff, or even just with the essence of keeping clips. I mean, I like the clip feature where you can clip yourself. Anybody else can, because obviously it's always recording the content that's being put out. Not that they would have to store it for 60 days, but I'd love to know the number, how much space is taken up.
I can't imagine.
We could probably do some math to figure that out.
I can't imagine how much space a clip would take, though, because that's only 30 seconds max, right? Or can it go a minute max?
Clips aren't a big deal. I think you can set it to be more. I honestly have never clipped something on somebody's channel, so
okay,
guilty.
So here's just
should be a better person.
I'm looking at Summit right now.
Yep.
And Summit has 500,000 views on a stream from 2 days ago.
Okay, so that's the VOD, right?
That is the VOD.
And we do have to take into account that VODs now on Twitch, the views count the live views as well.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean that 500,000 people went and watched it afterwards.
Right, but he's only got 21,000 currently watching him play now. So you got to think 21,000, maybe 50K were a part of the original broadcast. Maybe even 100K were a part of the original broadcast.
Yeah.
I
wonder how that metric scales live views from... Because like me on a given day, a good stream, say like if I have a stream that peaks at like 10 viewers, average of like 7 or 8.
Okay.
The live views for that usually is somewhere around like 80 to 100. So
okay.
It's like a 10-fold.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying.
I don't know about you.
I see what you're saying though. Does it scale does it scale equally?
Does it scale more? Yeah, or does it scale even more because it's a bigger audience where people come and go? And
sure, that's
for 8 hours.
So that that could be a very, very good point there, because you're looking at possibly if he streamed it to 20,000 concurrent viewers, he could have potentially seen 300,000 to 400,000 live views during that time. Yeah. Doesn't Sully Gnome show that?
It might. Let's bring it up.
I think Sully Gnome shows the number of live views for it. Because that would be I would be very,
because I would feel like it have scales more, especially too for guys like Summit and stuff like that, where I think when they're streaming, they're usually on for like 8-10 hours at a time.
Oh yeah.
They?
Oh yeah. For sure.
Is he still Summit 1G?
Yeah. I can't spell.
Or is it different?
I can't spell.
There he is. All right. Okay. And that was from a couple days ago, you said?
That was the Tuesday one, the October 13th, the 24,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peak viewers.
So views was only 100K.
100K.
Only 100,000.
Okay.
So you're talking about...
That actually scaled less, surprisingly.
You're talking about 400,000 views in a matter of 2 days?
Something about that seems weird, right? Like, I don't know. Part of that just doesn't make sense to me. But I guess if we think about it, I don't know. Because he probably does. He does YouTube stuff, right?
Well, that's probably split. So let's say that's probably split because I think it carries over from Wednesday to October or Tuesday to Wednesday on the metric. But regardless, because it was a 10-hour stream and the Tuesday to Wednesday is 7 hours and 3 hours, so it's probably a two-piece stream or something. But still, I'm not trying to get at that. But
yeah, the hours are always screwed up for me too on Sully. No.
Yeah, so he probably had 150,000 views out of that 500K.
Yeah. Summit 1G. We're doing some live research right now. He's got 660K subscribers on his YouTube. He posted something 3 days ago that only has 44,000 views. So that doesn't make sense to me.
600,000?
400K. But he's only, but like a video from 3 days ago has 44,000 views. That's
right,
it.
Right. But you got to think, what does Twitch count as a view? Is it just if you click and start playing it? Is it if you click and start playing it, or do you have to watch for a certain period of time?
Yeah.
I feel
like it's
on YouTube. You have to watch for at least 30 seconds.
Really?
Yes. Huh. It has to be a 30-second view. Metric. Yeah, before it actually counts as a view.
Yeah. I'm just hard pressed to believe that there's that many people watching. Again, I could be proven wrong as far as Twitch VODs go, but
that's a perfect example of why Twitch has VODs. Those 300,000 or 400,000 people,
right,
350,000 views, whatever it is, right?
Mm.
And you know what that could be? That could be just trolls scanning for clips. That could be, you know what I mean? It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be a lot of stuff. Yeah, because you got to think the amount of people on YouTube out there too that clip other people's content and then post it.
Yeah, it could be all kinds of stuff out there that people are doing, and they're just sitting there waiting for people to finish streaming, and they're waiting for that. The other side of it too is there, and maybe this is why, because I'm looking at his stream from yesterday, and it's only got, and again, we're just making guesses. His stream from yesterday only has. Oh, wait, that's from yesterday. Oh, no, yesterday has 400,000 views already as well. I was wondering maybe waiting for that 48-hour window or that 24-hour window, to see about getting caught up or being able to distribute the content to other platforms, right? Like you just said, if people are clipping his other content or people are trying to make fail videos or whatever it is, right, trying to do something about that, then, that's when you got to wait for that to happen.
This metric has me very interested now. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I guess. But again, though, even still, what is Twitch getting out of that? I guess people to their platform.
That's exactly what I think it is.
Because again, they're not making revenue.
That's exactly what I think it is. I think it turns into just people to the platform. That's it. Right? Gotcha. Like, it's just people clicking, and then once they've clicked, they click on somebody else. They click on somebody else. They click on somebody else, right? I will say, for Twitch having limited discoverability for somebody who's trying to grow, I think Twitch has a really, really good metric or really, really good system to keep people on the platform, right? There's always people left or right. There's always something to click on to find another stream that's similar to the one you've already been on.
It's very true.
Now, here's an example of somebody who streams to 1,000 viewers, and this might be right in line of what we're thinking. Somebody who streams to 1,000 viewers on average, between 1,000 and 800 to 1,000, right? He has 10,000 views from his stream yesterday, which kind of makes sense. That's about 10%, right? It's a little over 10% of his viewership, which would be, I mean, Summit's a little bigger, right? Does that scale? Because Summit's almost at 200%, right? With his numbers.
Yeah.
But, does that scale? I think it could, right? It could be X, for every one viewer, you end up with 1.X number of views or something like that on your VODs, right?
Yeah.
And then as you get higher, that scales up and gets more and more and more, because you could be looking at it in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, because like I'm looking at Tim the Tap Man.
Sure.
His average stream, unique views is around 120K.
Okay.
But like looking at his VODs, Even his stream from today, 10 hours ago, already has 830,000 views. So that's 710K more than like his average unique views alone already. I guess more people than I realized are peaking at VODs for whatever it may be. That's crazy. Huh.
It might have something to do with like distribution on social media too. Or if you end up, here's something, I don't know if Tim does a go live tweet, doesn't he? I think he does.
Does he? I know he tweets a lot, but I don't know if he does go live.
I believe Tim, he did for a while. I don't know if he still does, but he did for a while, even up until like, last year or this year at some point, right? He was still doing them. And I'm wondering if it's like somebody who like Tim falls in line with the what was I going to say? Tim falls in line with the like where you don't see the tweet until 20 hours too late, right? Like it just doesn't appear in the timeline, and then all of a sudden you see it and you're like, "Oh, Tim's live." And you click on it and it's like, "Oh, he's not live. Let me see what happened." Let me see what happened, right? It'll push the first VOD and I can take a look at it or something like that maybe. I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of that would draw independent views is what I'm going to call them. That would draw independent views to a VOD. I mean, you've said in the past though that you go and watch Doc's content, right? Or you have enjoyed
YouTube stuff.
Yeah, but that's usually clipped. Edit. It's like
a condensed like 15-minute.
It's the abridged version of Doc's stream, right? Basically,
very much so.
And that's fine, right? And that's a really good thing to have and a really good thing to do. And I think most streamers still do that. And that's where I was going to get into, right? Like, would a streamer rather you go watch their VODs or watch their YouTube content?
I mean, for them, obviously, the VODs, it's no extra effort on their part. They're not paying an editor to take care of stuff. And if these numbers are correct that we're looking at, a lot of these guys are getting more views on their Twitch VODs than they do on their YouTube channel, which is wild to me.
I would almost question how strong or how good Twitch's metric is for that.
Yeah, that's like I'm questioning a lot of things right now. Like I feel like we've scraped the surface of some weird. I don't know if there's an accuracy thing going on, or like you said, what they do consider a view. Is it like, I don't know.
You clicked it. It's a view, right? Like
everything, right?
It didn't even finish loading the page. It's a view.
Yeah. You hovered over the hyperlink view counts.
Yes.
Like
I don't know. That's
those numbers are significantly different. Man. Why aren't they trying to make money off of it? Is the real question. That's
huge. That's huge, right? Like,
why is there not a pre-roll ad for
VODs? There should be pre-roll ads on VODs. Like if you think about it, if you think about, especially with that number of views, there should be pre-rolls on VODs. Now I will say, if those numbers are mixed in, right. Well, we already know those numbers are mixed in with the live stream, so they should be getting they should be getting the ads from the live views. They should be getting the ad revenue from the live views, but anybody who watches the VOD, there should be a pre-roll. There should be. I don't see that. That's one of those situations where when Twitch started talking about mid-roll ads, or like not even, it was like the forced mid-roll, right? Like, oh, we're gonna drop these in whenever we feel like it, right? And I'm like, okay,
great idea.
And the streamer doesn't even know, right? Like it just literally drops the advertisement in there. And you don't know what's going on, but right. Why are they trying to do it there when they could do it on the VOD, right? For these guys, that would be way more revenue than dropping it in on somebody who's got a 25, 50 viewers.
And if you think about it too, as a viewer watching, and it's a live stream compared to something pre-recorded, I feel like you're much more okay accepting an ad in the middle of something when you know you're not missing out on a live moment. Obviously it'll just come back to right where it was.
Yeah, that's very true. I didn't even think about that.
Where a live stream, it's something epic could be about to happen, and you get hit with a pre-roll or a mid-roll, and you come back 15 seconds later, and you just miss like the highlight clip of that guy's life, and it's like, well, sorry, which I'm sure has to be why Twitch didn't move forward really with that middle plan.
The outcry was insane. The people that were taking people were clipping streams that this was happening to, and it was insane how bad people were freaking out about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was one of those things. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was one of those things that I get it. For sure. Just the way they implemented it, I didn't like. The fact that it was kind of just, we're going to do it whenever it rolls, right? Yeah. Whenever it rolls, we're going to do it, right? And I'm like,
like people playing Warzone, you're on the final ring and the
it just drops it. Yeah.
You're in a battle. It's like It's like, what? Like,
that was
come on.
that was what was happening. I had some kind of clip. I had some kind of clip of some guy that was like fighting a final boss in some game that he'd been playing for like 3 weeks, and it rolled an ad right in the middle of the boss fight, and he was like, like freaking out.
Lose your mind, man.
Because the viewers all clipped it, and they were like, ad. Like in chat, it was just like ad, and he's like.
I can't. I'm sorry. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Speaking about advertising, do you pay for YouTube Red?
So I have it, or YouTube Premium, whatever
it's called now.
I have it because I pay for a Google Play Music membership, and they include them together.
Oh well, that's the Google Play thing's rolling all into YouTube Music now, right?
It's whatever Google's renaming things left and right, man. G Suite's now Google Workspace, and like Google Play's going away. Google Nest.
Google Play's going away, which is really weird because all of my purchased music. This is the one thing, and I'm gonna poke Google right now for this. This makes me so mad. There's so much music that I've bought on Google Play.
Oh yeah.
And
what's going to happen to
now on YouTube Music? They were like, "Oh, well, transfer your library over to YouTube Music," and I'm like, "Okay." And I hit the button, transferred my library over. I don't know how to find it. I don't know where it is on YouTube Music.
It just exists somewhere.
Like I go to like library, and it's like stuff locally on my phone, right? It's like local files on my phone. Man. And then I'm like, you know what I'll do? I'll just play a song that I know I've purchased, right? I go to play a song I know I've purchased, and it plays the music video. So then I get an advertisement for it, and if I try to turn off my screen, it's like, oh, you can't turn off your screen and play the video. I'm like, I don't want the video to begin with. Yeah. I don't want the video. I want the song, right? Like, I don't want this.
Oh man.
And so it's like subscribe, and you can turn off your screen to listen to music. I'm like, no, just let me listen to my music. I bought it.
Yeah, I bought it already. It's mine. Give it back.
Apparently,
I'll have to look into that for you.
Apparently, they're supposed to be fixing it, but it's one of those things that I was like. For like 3 weeks it's been that way, and I'm like
I'd be frustrated with that.
I went and I installed Spotify on my phone. Listen to that, Google. I installed Spotify because your new YouTube Music sucks. Ooh. Yeah, I mean it was just one of those things. I was like, no, I can't use it. I can't. I hate the idea of like if I have a Bluetooth device, right? Yep. If I'm listening to like in my car, right? Like I'm listening to music in my car, I don't want to have my phone screen on to listen to music. Right? True. I just want to stream it through Spotify or SiriusXM or whatever platform I'm going to use, Pandora, whatever. Let me turn my screen off. It's streaming through my radio. I don't need the screen on right now. Like I don't want to watch the video. I don't want more data than I have to use. I just want it to play music. Don't make it difficult.
Yeah. Thankfully for me, I have Android Auto in my vehicle. So like obviously I currently still have to plug my phone in to be able to use
through the USB, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But I know they're changing that. That's an update that's coming soon where it's just going to wirelessly do it for you. But because of that, I can, just, hey, Google, listen to music, whatever I want to.
Yeah.
Everything in my room just like lit up because I have 800 Google devices. Don't you? Nope. Never mind. Never mind, Google.
Cancel.
Freaking.
I'm glad I have you on headphones.
Like
I have one.
Like, oh God.
I have one right on the other side of my monitor, so I can't. Whenever I talk about it, I'm like, hey G. Whenever I'm talking to Jamie, that's what I say.
But so because of that, I can play music with YouTube Music and stuff like that. I guess because the car screen's on or whatever. But I always did find that as a weird feature. Because I would put in headphones sometimes, open YouTube Music, put my phone in my pocket, and the music would stop. And I was like, what? I'm confused. Why isn't this? This doesn't seem to make sense for me. But
yeah, so apparently now
they fixed it recently.
Yeah, apparently now with YouTube Music, if you pay for a premium subscription, you can turn your screen off.
Yeah.
Right? So if you subscribe, and that's the way they're getting you, right? They're like, "Oh, now you have to subscribe to get this unlimited library of music we have because it's music videos." Right? Because now it's music videos, not necessarily just songs, right? So they're like, "Oh, to get this unlimited library, you can pay us." And I'm like, "No, that's not what I want to do," right? Like and it's got to be something along my suspicion is it's got to be something along the line talking, right, ad revenue and views, right? Because they're giving the artist the view for the video that you're watching while, and that's why they're letting you do it for free. And that's why you can get more music than what they had available before. Because, like with Spotify and Google Play and all this other kind of stuff, you had to pay to get the music, or you had a very, very limited radio station that the artist would allow, right? Now the artist has already put their music video out there publicly. YouTube can grab whatever they want at that point, right? Because it's already on my platform. I'll pay you for the view. I'm going to play your music, right? Kind of concept. And they're doing it that way, which...
Very fair.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That whole thing started, and I was going off of the idea that I was trying to get to the point to where, have you noticed that YouTube, well, again, you pay for a subscription, so you don't notice, YouTube advertisement has gotten insane. Like, it's crazy right now.
How bad is it?
It's like, tell me. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's just like you get a pre-roll, mid-roll, end-roll. Like, if I try to watch a Harris Heller video and it has advertising turned on, it's like 4 advertisements in like a 15-minute video or something like that. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
Don't uploaders get to choose placement?
Yes. Well, you can disable the advertising placements in it. Like, so if it's a sponsored, and that's why you notice, I used Harris as,
you see a lot of sponsored. Yeah.
Right. I used Harris as an example, but he typically doesn't have ad placements in his. I think when this new method first rolled out, he had a video out there or something like that, and it was like ad. And then, they had to go through and fix it. But it was one of those things where, like, that's why Epos Vox, Harris, Podcast Stage, all these other guys, they have sponsored videos, right? Where, like, this is sponsored by Mod Mic, or this is sponsored by Stream Beats, or this is sponsored by whoever, right? Like, because
Tech Talks is big on his sponsor segments.
Sure, yeah. I mean, because they're paying for the video, so that way he doesn't have to run advertising on it.
Makes sense.
And you don't get revenue. You don't get view revenue on videos that don't have advertising.
True.
So they're basically giving up the opportunity to make 1 million views worth of revenue for that one advertisement. So whoever that sponsor is better be ready to fork it up, right? I don't know what the CPV is.
Curious, right? What kind of money they get for?
I have no idea what the CPV is for a video, but it's got to be more than what YouTube provides, right? If you think about it.
Yeah.
Or maybe not.
Otherwise, it wouldn't be worth it.
Maybe not, because maybe there's some kind of idea there where, like, oh, you're going to get more views because it's you giving the advertisement in a 15-segment piece instead of a pre-roll, a mid-roll, and an end-roll where people are going to click off your video, right? I don't know. Maybe there's some idea there where you're not going to get as many.
And something to think about, too, because a lot of those guys, whatever it may be, I know they do a lot of, like, Squarespace, Skillshare, things like that. They usually have at the end, too, like, if you'd like to sign up and get 25% off your first order, use code Linus or LTT or whoever it may be, Bitwit, all those guys.
The affiliate
and then they probably get some sort of revenue or something out of that as well.
To my understanding, it's something. Yeah, it's enough. I mean, there's so there's kit.io. I think kit.io. Is that where you can build like for your PC. Right? Say somebody were to come and say, like, what's all the gear Hopper has in his PC? You could be like, here's my streaming PC in kit.io. And it has all your parts listed out, and they can literally go through and click buy. And you get kickbacks on everything they buy using that source or something like that, right? So, like, Harris has I don't know if he still uses it, but Booth Junkie has one. And a couple of others have had them in the past where they've had these, kits built already where they have like ultimate streaming gear or ultimate booth setup or all that kind of stuff, right? And you can have different equipment and things like that. I have one. And it's got like 3 items in it. It's got a C920 and some other things in it. Like I was like, this. I started it and I was like, why am I doing this right now? Like,
you're right.
I'm not giving anybody anything they haven't seen before.
Yeah, right. Hey, you never know though, right? Any little kickback goes a long way.
But
obviously, I think.
No, go ahead. It's obvious what.
Say the only other thing too that like it gives the YouTube content creator control over who they're advertising for on their channel. They can make it more relevant to their product.
Sure.
You know, it's not going to be some Fortnite ad in the middle of somebody doing a stream about building PCs. So
sure, exactly. And you're definitely right about that. That's something that I didn't even think about. Like, because YouTube does have very controlled. YouTube's advertising algorithm is way better.
Yeah.
It's way better than Twitch's.
Yeah,
but
fair.
You know, I would say that it's still limited because you have to assume that, you know, whoever's like whatever video you're watching, like I'll be watching a microphone video and I get an advertisement for a bank loan. I'm like, I'm not going into debt to buy this microphone. Thank you. I know it's $3,000. I'm not taking out a loan to buy it today, but thank you. You know, have a good day. Right? Yeah. Like that kind of concept there.
I've been watching stuff on like my Chromecast and on YouTube, and I'll get ads on that every so often.
Which is that's new too. That's new as well. I was going to point that out. I have the Google Hub, right, with the screen on it, and I used to be able to roll YouTube ads or music. I used to be able to roll music on that, no advertising, no nothing, and it would just play. Never an issue. Yeah. And now it's nonstop advertising. Nonstop. It's like
they're after us everywhere.
I'll play like I'll do music here in the office, right? Like I said, I have a mini right here in the corner, and I'll have that play.
Me too, right next to me.
Yeah, I'll have that play music, like while I'm working in the office, right? And I'll go one song, and there'll be an advertisement on both ends of a song. I'm like,
jeez.
I got 4 minutes of music out of that, guys. Come on, like.
For a minute of
give me space. Even radio stations give me like 60 minutes, you know. Come on, like give me something here. Even Spotify you got to click or watch the video or whatever to get 30 minutes free or whatever it is. But I mean, like at some point, and I remember YouTube did this in the past and people finally complained about it and they kind of just said screw it, right, we're going to stop watching videos because of advertising. Yeah. I mean, they're never going to get rid of it entirely, but they did see a dip in numbers and they finally pulled back. But it seems like every so many years, this is like the third time I've seen YouTube do it, and then they'll pull in the reins and be like, okay, we're going to slow down for a little bit, and then they'll dump them, right? They'll dump them and try to make as much revenue as they can, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, in the ads and stuff now, it's what you can like usually skip ad after 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's long enough to get that. It's long enough to get that CPV value in, and then it's gone, right?
Or there's the ones that force you to watch the 15 seconds. Where I swear to God, if you asked me what ad I just watched, it's just such part of life now.
Yeah,
I don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But I've had days, you know, where I'm watching like a Dude Perfect video or something. These guys doing trick shots. It rolls an ad. You know, it's a 5-second thing, and then the next thing comes up. And it's like a whole show from CBS or some crap that's like airing next Tuesday or something. And the ad time shows 65 minutes or whatever. And
what?
You can skip, but it's like, it's obviously some paid promotional thing from CBS or whatever platform is trying to push their new TV show. I've had it pop up where it's like ads that are whole. I've had
an hour-long advertisement,
like a movie loaded up. Yeah.
What?
I was like, what is going on right now?
That is crazy.
Yeah, the ad gets weird, man. It's a weird world out there. So if you don't pay attention, you could watch a whole movie for an hour and a half while you're.
if you've just got your phone sitting on the side there, yeah, crazy.
When did I start watching this?
Yeah, man, that's nuts. I didn't even heard of that.
Pay for Google Play, so I don't get a lot of ads anymore.
And there you go, I guess. I mean, things like that. Eventually, it's like Amazon Prime, right? It's kind of one of those things where eventually it's going to pay for itself out of convenience, even let alone total value, right?
Very true, very true. And with how Google Home connected my house is, it's nice to have.
Oh my gosh,
stuff everywhere.
Isn't it nuts?
Yeah.
Oh,
I just ordered 2 more of the new Nests. I have the Google TV on its way because they just had some new products drop. So.
I was gonna say they got that Chromecast with TV built into it.
Yeah.
I was like,
I got it.
I was on the buy button. I'm waiting for a black one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm waiting for a black
sky
one.
Blue.
Yeah. All of mine are Sky Blue sold out right now, so I couldn't get that one anyways.
Okay.
But all of mine are all of my minis are charcoal. Right, they're the dark.
Looks so good.
Yeah, they're dark gray or whatever, and my hub is charcoal, and I was like, and all of the original Chromecasts were black, and I was like, my TV's black. I was like, not that you're gonna see this blue thing hanging off the back of it.
Dongle that's hangs on the back. Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those like I would like it to be the same color. So I'm gonna wait a little while and see. But I'm definitely gonna get one. If they don't, I'll get the white one or blue or whatever. It doesn't matter, right? But eventually I'll probably see something. But that new Android, I mean, dropping Android TV, adding assistant voice commands to a remote control. That's gonna be a whole new feature for people that have wanted to get into it, but not been able to let go of other products.
Yeah. I've always loved Chromecast. It's just sometimes it was annoying to pull out my phone to browse stuff, So because obviously when you have this giant menu, which the menu for Google TV is fantastic. It has pretty much all your apps on there, everything like that. Again, if you use an Android TV, it's not too different. It's got that Google flair, Google simplicity in a way. But it's nice to just have that all at your fingertips and you're not scrolling on your phone and going from one app to the next, to the next, to the next to find something to watch.
So the other nice thing would be content that you try to play, right, will communicate directly versus waiting for your phone to send the signal, right? Kind of stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's so many times where I'll be on my phone and I'll hit the cast button and it's like you can see it loading the app on the screen. And then, like, my phone doesn't register that the app loaded, and I'm trying to hit play, and then it plays on my phone, and I'm like, no, it's there, and then I'm like, it's just one of those things where, like, either my phone's too slow, or, like, it just has a latency issue in the network, or whatever it is, right? Yeah. Like, it's kind of one of those, like, frustrating things. But I was going to say on that the... adding in like right now we have a PS3, right? We still have our PS3 hooked up to our living room TV, right? Well, my kids play Minecraft, right? So we have a PS3 hooked up to the living room TV, and then we have a home theater PC that is literally
nice.
it's literally only used to play Disney Plus, because you can't play Disney Plus on the Chromecast, you can play it on the Chromecast. Sorry, you can play it on the Chromecast.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can. Yeah.
You can't play it on the PS3. So the kids have Netflix, they have Amazon Prime, they have YouTube, everything on the PS3. Disney Plus was, since the PS3 is so old, right? Disney Plus was the one thing that they couldn't do, so it just never got an app made. So we have a home theater PC that literally only plays Disney Plus, and I was like, well, Google is about to replace my home theater PC, because I won't need it anymore.
Put a Chromecast out there, but I guess for the kids to be able to stream stuff when you're not around.
Honestly, we do have I have a Chromecast in that TV too. I already do have one, but I never.
They don't have cell phones, right? Your kids.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have cell phones. I mean, they could yell at the hub and be like, "Hey, G."
True. Yeah. Right.
Hey, G.
Hey, G.
Play whatever, but they would have to know the library. Oh no, you can't use voice commands yet, or at least last we tried. You can't use voice commands for Disney Plus. You can do it for Netflix.
Yeah.
And Hulu.
Well, it's funny. It's one of those things where like you have to load it from a phone or something like that, but you'll have the capability to like pause, rewind, stuff like that. Yeah. Which it's nice that it gives you that at least, because it knows the content's there. But it's silly that it can't like find it and load it.
It doesn't. It doesn't know the. I'm sure Disney will push it. It doesn't know the library, right? Like, because I can be like, I can lay in bed and be like, "Hey G, play whatever from Netflix," right? "Hey G, play whatever from Netflix," and it'll be like, "Okay, playing this on Master TV," right? Whatever, kind of thing like that. And it does it all. Like, I don't even need my phone at that point, right? Oh, by the way, if you don't have it, and you were interested in it, the Lenovo smart clock is actually a pretty good piece.
Yeah.
It's like this big, maybe. It's pretty small. It's a lot smaller than it looks, but it's maybe about half the size of the original hub, maybe half. Right, and it's got a full assistant built into it. And it's just basically an alarm clock. So you put it on your nightstand.
Nice.
and it's got Assistant built into it. So that basically replaced. We had a Mini in our bedroom, and that's the one that came into my office. We had a Mini in our bedroom, and then I just put the smart clock in there for Jamie to have an alarm clock, and now that operates everything there. But Lenovo makes that. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, because I have a hub, but I have that downstairs currently. I have 2 of the new Nest Homes coming. Number one, because I heard the audio in the new one is absolutely insane. Like, it puts the old Google Home and stuff.
Oh, is that the the oblong looking speaker?
Yeah. So they had a 2-pack deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever, click. I throw it on my Google financing that I don't even pay attention to because I just buy stuff when it comes out. My Pixel Buds, my Pixel Slate, the Google TV, all that stuff. I use it. So I'm debating to put one of those Nest Homes in my room or to put the Google Hub in there to have the little screen and stuff. But I have a Mini, I think, sitting unopened behind me somewhere too.
I can see one that looks like it still has plastic wrapped in it on the top of the shelf over there.
Oh yeah, yep. It's the Nest Mini, unopened.
Does it say Nest on it?
Yeah, it does say
Nest Mini. Interesting, because I purchased all mine before the Nest branding merged into it.
Yeah, this is the first piece technically that I have that's the Nest branding because they bought up the Nest company and renamed the home. Which honestly, that was a good acquisition.
Oh yeah,
good move on Google's part.
Oh yeah,
the Nest thermostats and stuff are really cool. I want to get one of those someday.
I love mine.
Yeah.
There are a few things about it that I don't like, but it's overall it's
the
really
new one looks really sleek.
Is it? Oh. I don't know. Yeah. Is that the same?
Like, dang it!
Yeah. I'm not getting another one. I'm not doing it. I'm not upgrading a thermostat.
Do we want to wind back to the Twitch VODs that this originated from? Oh man!
All in all, so going back to Twitch VODs, yeah, let's go back at some point. Thank you, Nathan. Yeah. All in all, I would have to say that if the numbers are real, and I would love to see somebody who did some research. I would love to find somebody who did some research on it. If the numbers are real, then I would say that the Twitch VODs are making a killing on there. Right? Like, that's insane when you think about it. I don't know how they've gotten away that long.
And it's as like, again, I hate to be as a content creator, be the person pushing why aren't they trying to make money on this themselves and put ads there? Because obviously as a content creator, you should get a chunk of that as well as a partner, whatever it may be, affiliate. But why is there not ads being played if the numbers are that astronomical compared to what we're seeing as far as YouTube videos from these same creators? It just seems like a missed opportunity, or it's what we're thinking where there's something kind of screwy going on with how this number's actually calculated.
So I wonder, so do you remember, well, Facebook did it, right? Like, it was Facebook that was not it never came out, but there was some assumption that Facebook was padding their numbers a little bit. You remember that whole discussion where Facebook was padding their numbers?
Yeah.
And a lot of people were talking about it. They're like, there's no way this guy has 5,000 viewers, right? Like, his chat is completely silent. So it's either being rebroadcast somewhere and it's picking up just, it might be. Here would be an interesting. Well, I'm gonna get derailed if I bring that up. But if the numbers are real, maybe they're finding a way to do that. Maybe they're finding a way to consider adding revenue in that. The problem is, here would be my question is, the problem is, how do you target advertising? And this has always been Twitch's problem, and this is a running problem that Twitch needs to learn how to solve. Is you don't have to be a registered member. Like, you don't have to sign up to watch a stream. Right?
True.
So, and I guess, well, let me rethink that. What does Twitch know about? Yeah. So here's the thing. Google is collecting data on everybody. Let's be honest. I mean,
all of us,
right? Like Google's collecting data on everybody, right? And they're actively getting the data in, and they're using that data for marketing purposes. That's what they do with it, right? They sell advertisements based on
industry best.
Yeah, they sell advertising based on what they know about you, right? So every time you watch a YouTube video, whether you think it or not, either it's promoted and they've gotten paid to play that advertisement, or they're going to play an advertisement that they think you're going to click on, right? Or you're going to know, right? More often than not, it's probably a promoted advertisement, but, right, you know, you got to have that opportunity to where something else could be there, right? So you'd almost want to know, how does Twitch do that, right? Twitch doesn't have that data collection infrastructure to be able to say that my advertisements are engaging to the viewers. And this is why, like, anybody who ever shows me a McDonald's advertisement doesn't know anything about me, because I have not set foot into McDonald's in years, right? So don't show me
that Travis Scott meal.
Don't show me the Travis Scott meal, because 1, I don't like Travis Scott. 2, I don't like McDonald's. I'm going to turn it off immediately.
Wrong demographic.
Right. I mean, it's just not me. And I'm not going to pay extra money to put lettuce on a hamburger that I should already get it on, or whatever it was, right? Like, I don't even know what it was.
Wild, man. Yeah.
But did you see they got another one now? They've got a second meal from some person. I don't know. I don't even know who it is. I don't even know who it is. They got another one out now. It comes with like a McFlurry or something. It's like, this is my meal or what. I don't even know what it is. But anyway,
getting wild.
Yeah. I mean, it's McDonald's.
Shaq did it first. That's all I got to know, guys. Burger King, Shaq had a partnership like 20 years ago.
I don't remember that.
He's the original celebrity fast food guy.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was literally called like the Shaq Attack or something. I forget.
Well, the Shaq Attack was Shaq Attack was his thing when he was in Orlando. So
yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Dude, I've got a set of Pepsi bottles somewhere.
Yeah, some Shaq Pepsi bottles.
Yeah, it's a 6-pack still in the cardboard box that says Shaq Attack pack on it, and it's got Shaq,
nice,
like throwing it down in his Orlando jersey on the bottle. I was like, I need to find those. There's somewhere.
Or Magic.
Oh, yeah, let's not talk about NBA, because I just recently discovered who won, so I'm not too excited about that. So
we need to talk about it.
But so
chalked up season.
Hello, come back here. So what was I getting distracted on? It was Facebook views, Facebook something.
Facebook did something. Talking about padded views, Google
padded views.
So we were talking about why they're not.
And I was gonna go off on a tangent. I should have wrote it down. I have a pen here with a notepad just to write it down.
Really?
Write things down. I do.
Look at you, old school.
I do. I have a pen with sticky notes. Just so I can
jotting down stuff as he's sitting here. I love it.
I'm like sticking things on my monitor, like trying to remember. Oh, look, I gotta call the alert. Oh, you can't see that. You guys can't see you guys can't even see whatever's written on. It doesn't matter. Look at that. I could show you. My social security number's on this one, guys. Take a look at it.
Right next to my credit card number. You're welcome.
Somebody's gonna flash frame that and like turn the brightness way down and see what's really written there. But it's like one of those things. Advertising, Facebook. Dang it, I can't remember. Dude, my brain is so bad. Hey, let's talk about it. In this transition. Do you think it's harder today to remember things than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
I think we've trained ourselves to the point where we're very aware we don't need to remember a lot of stuff because we have it at our fingertips. We have access to information that if it's, why do I need to remember this when I can just find the answer in 30 seconds anyways?
I would totally agree. I would. Yeah. That's
like.
Go
ahead. Ooh, jinx. I was just going to say, for me, I remember stuff more through experiences than through actually like researching something, unless it's something I'm passionate about, like when I'm looking up tech specs and things like that and this and that. I'll remember a lot of stuff. Will I remember it 30 days from now? Probably not. But we definitely are in an era where there's no need, which makes us lazy, which our brains get used to, and stuff just doesn't retain.
Yeah, It's really funny. Like I used to be able to spit off the phone number of every relative every relative that lived near me, or like most of my family's here in Florida, so like every relative that had a 407 phone number, I could spit out the 7 digits or whatever, or the 7 digits, because we didn't even need the 407 back then, right? I could spit out the 7 digits and be like, and call anybody I wanted to, and now. I
don't even know my sister's phone numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've still, I guess I shouldn't say it's not that bad. I know my mom, my dad, my grandmother, Jamie, my sister, my brother-in-law. I have 3 phone numbers on my own.
All their cell phones?
Yeah, mostly. Okay. Well, I know my mom, I know my old house number, right, when I grew up. I know my grandma's house number.
I know like my phone number growing up was 860-582-8424. Go ahead and call it. Guys. It's not going to ring anywhere, but
it will.
Doesn't even exist. So.
It will. The numbers get redistributed.
Somebody in Bristol, Connecticut will answer, and you can say, "Hey, what's up?" But it's my parents' cell phone numbers. I know my sisters. I remember their old cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
But they've obviously changed with moving or pairing with their significant others and stuff like that. So. I don't know what they are anymore. I have them in my phone. But yeah, grandparents' numbers, stuff like that growing up. I still have those. Those are stuck in the brain. But yeah, you're right as far as
like learning, like I have no idea what anybody whose phone number I've gotten since before I got a smartphone. Or since after I've gotten a smartphone. They're far and few between. Maybe if it's somebody that I've had to call consistently.
True.
Like there's a conference line. There's a conference line I call every day for work.
Yeah.
Like I have conference calls, multiple conference calls every day. It's just the standard conference line, right? Multiple conference calls every day. I have no idea what that number is. I call it multiple times a day. I have no idea what that number is.
That's hilarious. I thought you were going to say that's one that sticks because like you see it or something like that.
No, I have no idea what it is. Even if I have it in like a notepad thing, and I have to look it up every time, and I'm like,
and
I have to dial it in.
That's great. So it's not even like it's a programmed contact.
No, it's not even a contact to my phone. I dial it in every day. That's
impressive.
And I cannot remember it for the life of me.
That's just some flash memory you're using there.
Basically, that's what like 3/4 of my brain power is like RAM. Every time you shut down at night, it just gets erased.
Yeah, the cache is empty. It wakes up fresh slate next day. It makes me worry a little bit for like the generations growing up, but because obviously us old folks, the millennials here, we actually experienced like the changeover from the uncultured, no internet life to dial up and crappy cell phones and playing Snake and, progressing to smartphones these days, which is like, holy cow, imagine if I had this power when I was 12, But so it's
all the trouble I could have kept myself out of.
Personally, right? I mean, I personally would have abused the heck out of having information at my fingertips. I wouldn't have remembered anything. I'd probably not be as smart as I am. Not saying that I'm some genius, but
no, I mean, it's interesting because, and then you go back a generation before us, right? Yeah. And like our parents, right? Like my dad remembers things,
dude.
Like my dad, my grandfather, right? Like these people remember things. Like I'm like, my grandfather's 80. Is my grandfather 83 now? And he's like, oh yeah, back in Chicago when I was 22. And I'm like, I can't remember a single thing when I was 22. I don't know anything. I've got like memories when I was a kid. I've got like 5, 10, 12, 16, right? Like I've got like these pieces, and he's like, oh, I could tell you everything I did. And I'm like,
I have bits and pieces, and a lot of it, I'm not even sure if it's a memory or if it's because I remember watching a home video at some point in my life. Like, but my father and my uncle, they can like, with like sports and stuff, they can tell you like the starting lineups of like every World Series from like freaking 70 to this year. And it's like, I don't know how that information sticks to your mind. I probably couldn't tell you who won the Super Bowl 3 years ago. Like I'd have to like really think about and work out. Like, all right, last year was this person, it was that, and it was that.
You could just say the Patriots, and you'd have like a 1 in 5 shot to be right at least.
So it's like I mean, I definitely. It's a really interesting topic to talk about, that we don't use our brains in the same way. And I think that's got to be society as a whole because of the technology we have at our fingertips.
It's more readily available, which causes us to not. I think you're right. I think it's our brains don't think we need to retain it, so we just don't. Right? Like we just don't anymore, and we're like, okay, that's not needed anymore. Like we'll get it later, right? Like that's not value added information.
Yeah, it's like opening up an email and not flagging it as important or something, It's
But I can tell you that
there somewhere.
But I can tell you that a level 60 warrior needs 490 defense in order to not be crushable by a boss.
Yeah. Like, and that's again because I feel like, experiences like that, stuff we spend a lot of time in, and again, the amount of video game knowledge that's in my brain is ridiculous. Like you could throw me on like a GoldenEye 007 map from N64 and I could probably walk around it blindfolded because I had them in there so well because I played so much of that game. But it's weird. It's weird the way our minds work.
So
laughable, actually.
Yep. So I don't have anything else. I wanted to just do this one here live on YouTube. A little chit chat for us. Man. I do want to ask how are you enjoying Soma? Dude, I listened. So precursor to the podcast starting, I was watching your stream, and for those of you who are watching currently, when the podcast does end, we will roll over and hang out with the Game Hopper in his stream at twitch.tv/thegamehopper. So keep in mind of that. We will go over there once we get done with the podcast tonight. I was gonna say that I was watching you on Soma, and just the screaming and the shrills were very comedic. I mean, like the and I gotta say, hey, props to the Yeti. Props to the Yeti. I have to say, it doesn't clip. It doesn't clip nearly as bad. Good. Nearly as bad. The snowball.
I'm sure I can tweak it a little bit, but
the snowball. Every time you would like yell, it would just be like it would sound like your voice was. It wasn't painful to listen to per se on my end. But it was like it wasn't like it hurt my ears, but it would literally sound like your voice was like tearing in half. Like it would just be this loud, screeching kind of sound. I mean, like my volume wasn't. But that
captures my terror.
Oh yeah, it's way better. Like I love it. I'm like, I actually know what he's doing right now. Like I get it.
But it's a very immersive game. So like, I think the difference, like, because I played Layers of Fear last week, which I think was a lot more jump scares.
Okay.
It seems to like continually build up these anticipation moments.
The suspense is just
and it's the ambiance and the way things sound, and even just like you open a door for the first time, or you go in a room and then come back out and it hits you with like a big shock wave to the underwater tank or whatever you're in, or you hear these loud sounds or the lights flicker or cut out, and obviously having the headset and the volume's loud in my ears, I feel like I'm there, and it just scares the living crap out of me. And I never know what's around the next corner. And this game's nice because you can actually get like attacked by stuff compared to Layers of Fear, where I was just kind of like walking through a story more so than anything.
Sure.
But this game's very well made. It's a lot of fun so far. Keeping me on edge, which is good. I like that. And,
I really like.
It's been fun.
So I really like Phasmophobia that we've been playing, but I would like to find some other co-op horror games to go after, to try to enjoy.
It is one of those like genres that's not touched on too much, it seems like. You get a lot of single player stuff. Yeah, a lot of single player stuff, but co-op is one of those ones that like I was looking up, and there's GTFO. Have you heard of that? Yeah, I have GTFO. You have it. That's a good one. Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's not like horror. So that's what I was kind of like. I was looking at like best co-op horror games, right, or something like that to look up, and I was kind of like, okay, and I was scrolling through, and it was like Dead or Alive 2. I'm like, that's not a horror game. That's like that's like Left 4 Dead. Put on there. It's that's like a survival, that's survival combat, right? Yeah. It's not a horror game per se, right? Like Phasmophobia. Or the same kind of sense with it's like a very advanced Left 4 Dead in a. But it's first person, right? Yeah, it's a first-person shooter. You're a 4-man attack team, assault team, whatever you want to call it. You're like plummeting down into these creepy, cavernous caves, in a sense, and you're tasked with completing some sort of objective, which has you clearing out different rooms. And basically, it's very about sneaking around, like not alerting these things you're trying to kill, because the moment one of them like wakes up, it like shouts out to the rest of its army or swarm, and that's when like the chaos ensues. And it's not like a jump scary type of thing too much.
Okay.
It's just very stealthy, do your missions, and when chaos ensues, try not to die, because you're very limited on ammo, very limited on health. It's fun, but it's just different. It's not like the single player horror stuff you see, like the Amnesia, Slender Man.
Right, that's like the same like Dead by Daylight to me. Not necessarily like. I mean, it seems like a good game, but I wouldn't necessarily place that as horror as it is, kind of like running around and it's like hide and seek, right? I mean, not necessarily that it's not like suspenseful or an intense game, right? Yeah. But I don't put that with like horror, right?
No, yeah, it's honestly, to me, it's a creepy juggernaut game mode.
Sure,
you
exactly.
got the one guy who's OP, whatever type of serial killer monster they are, and then a team of weak players trying to defeat them, which in this sense, it's just completing tasks. So I mean, it's. I guess it's just because of the way they can drive a story so well in single player.
Yeah.
And that sense, I honestly think this is one of the biggest things. It's that sense of being alone that really builds that like horrifying anticipation inside us.
Oh.
If we're with somebody else, it's very easy to like
laugh it off or
latch your sanity from them. If you have this other player next to you. Again, our brains work in really weird ways. So. That's
a really good point, though. I would say that's probably what it is. That's the same with Phasmophobia for me, right? Like I tried playing it alone, and I was like, nope.
You're right. You're just like,
nope, not happening.
Into the house, you're like, we're good. I'm gonna guess it's a Revenant. We'll call it a day.
Yeah, I'm done. Nope, not happening.
But you walk in a room with somebody else, and it's like,
and you can giggle. You can.
Yeah,
you can giggle, you can do fun things, you can make it creative, right? And that's kind of the fun part, I guess. What about what would you say about considering playing like one of the Resident Evils? Because I think 5 and 6 are both co-op.
Oh, okay, interesting. I have 7. I wonder if 7 is
7. Okay.
Biohazard's on Game Pass. If you have Game Pass still.
Is that 7? Is that 7? Biohazard?
Yeah, Resident Evil Biohazard. I feel like that's, I don't know. It probably has good jump scares. I honestly don't know too much. The Resident Evil games I played were from like 10, 12 years ago. So the graphics are just
that's always my thing too. Like somebody said, somebody put down Resident Evil as a horror game, and I was like, that to me was like Tomb Raider, right? Like, it's not horror. Yeah. It's like a puzzler, you're going through the city. Like, yeah, there were zombies. But again, I'm thinking of Resident Evil. I'm thinking of like Resident Evil 2, right? Like back in the PlayStation.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think we can try to test out some more. I'll look into Biohazard, see if it's co-op or not.
Okay.
Maybe that's something we can play next week.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to the next Amnesia game that comes out on the 20th.
I heard about it. I was actually reading about it the other day. I heard it was going to be really good. I was looking up something about it.
Pulled the trigger on the
pre-order. Good.
Oh, I forget what it's even titled. But yeah, so more Phasmophobia tonight. We're going to hunt some ghosts.
Sure. Yeah, I'm ready. If you're ready, I'm ready, and we can...
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Once again, those of you, Hopper, you can sign us out here in a minute, I guess. Once again, thank you all for who are watching here on the YouTube side. Appreciate you all. What?
I was just excited about it. Woo!
Oh, you went woo. I thought you were like, whoa.
Woo!
I heard like, whoa. I was like, oh, okay. I'm sorry that I just... I'm going to see you guys later.
God, I'm blowing up your spot, man.
For those of you that are currently watching... please feel free to come and check out Dusty. He is going to continue the stream. I'm going to be ending it here. He's going to continue the stream over at twitch.tv/TheGameHopper. I tweeted out about him earlier, and it should be linked down on the bottom of the video. I don't even know if I set the video up right. I know it says I'm live. I don't know where it's at right now. I got to go back and make sure I did everything. Yeah, we'll find out next time. We'll make sure it's all working. This was kind of a trial run, and I hope everything went well.
Yeah.
Go ahead and sign us out, Dusty, and we'll...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you so much. It's another What the Wednesday in the books. It's been a blast. I have been the Game Hopper. We've had the cool tech dad himself, live on YouTube, live on Twitch, live anywhere else you want to watch us. You can catch us afterwards on Anchor, hopefully on YouTube if this test worked out properly. We'll probably continue to do this again in the future. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.